Right now at noon, alert day conditions begin later tonight. I'll talk about just how cold it's going to get coming up.
Plus, new information is revealed on the man accused of killing a National Guard soldier and wounding another in Washington, D.C. last week. Hello, everybody. Good to have you with us at noon at midweek. Josh is off this week. He'll be back on Monday. We're beginning today with the weather. Of course, it's another cloudy and cool day outside, but there are alert day conditions right around the corner. Bitterly cold air is getting ready to move in later tonight, and Jacob Montesano is watching the latest forecast. When can we expect this?
Well, it could be as early as this evening. Temperatures right now are not too bad, but they will cool down throughout the afternoon, and we'll also see the winds pick up a little bit. So looking at the alert day information, it's mainly for the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. But once we get to around sunset, we are going to see the temperatures continue to cool down at a pretty dramatic pace. So let's take a look at the current conditions. Upper 20s, lower 30s, not too bad. But if we look further to the northwest, it is a little bit cooler with lower 20s right now. And as we go throughout the afternoon, these temperatures, they're going to fall into the lower 20s for everybody. Some areas may fall into the upper teens before we hit sunset. And then as we get towards the evening, we're going to drop into the teens, and the skies are going to become clear as well, which will also allow those temperatures to continue to fall. And then as we get to the overnight hours into tomorrow morning, a lot of areas expected to drop below zero. So it is going to be very, very cold, and these are just the actual temperatures. I'll talk more in detail about the wind chill and show you just how much warmer it's going to be for the afternoon. I say that because it's going to be very cold throughout the entire day. I'll have the details on that coming up a bit later.
Yeah, this is that crazy time of year where 14 degrees feels warm after you have a cold spell like we're expecting. All right, Jacob, we'll check back in just a little bit. Thank you. You can track the forecast for yourself, by the way, on the First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. To continuing coverage now on a house fire in Middleton that happened earlier this morning. The house is on Sunset Ridge Drive near Sunset Ridge Elementary School. Crews responded to the fire at around 2:15 this morning. Our cameraman there saw smoke coming from the side of the home and the front door. Middleton, Cross Plains, Mount Horeb, Wanakee, and Verona firefighters responded to the scene. So far, no word of any injuries. A Madison area priest charged with child sex crimes is back in court today. Andrew Showers faces charges including attempting to use a computer to facilitate child sex crimes, attempted child enticement, and second-degree child sexual assault. He has pleaded not guilty to all of those charges. Clintonville police arrested Showers in August, saying that he was trying to meet a 14-year-old girl for sex there. A police officer had posed as the girl in an undercover operation. Following his arrest, the Diocese of Madison restricted him from public ministry. He had been working at Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish and St. James School in Madison before that. The first court hearing for the man accused of killing a National Guard soldier and wounding another revealed new information about last week's attack. Newly released surveillance images revealed in court documents appear to show the suspect standing near a busy Washington, D.C. metro station before turning a corner and opening fire at members of the National Guard. 20-year-old Specialist Sarah Beckstrom and 24-year-old Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf were struck in the head. The alleged shooter, Ramnullah Lakanwal, served on a CIA-backed operations team in his native Afghanistan before he fled to the U.S. in 2021 and was granted asylum earlier this year.
This individual was brought into this country as a result of the largesse of the American people and the American government, and he betrayed us.
The suspect remains hospitalized, as does Staff Sergeant Wolf. Specialist Beckstrom died on Thanksgiving Day. The suspect's next court appearance is scheduled for January 14th. He has pleaded not guilty to murder, assault, and firearms charges. For the first time, the city of Madison is partnering with the private sector to reimagine downtown. City officials expect thousands of new residents to move to Madison over the course of the next decade. And the plan aims to update land use, modernize transportation, enhance city design, and preserve the unique character of downtown. Downtown Madison, Inc. is focusing on the economic sector, supporting existing businesses while attracting new ones. And at last night's meeting, they also highlighted the housing crisis in our community, with 43% of downtown residents spending more than half of their income on rent.
What's, I think, really important about this is that we have national consultants that have seen other work in other cities. And if we can take some of those ideas and run with it, I think we can create our own Madison.
Over the next 18 months, the city and Downtown Madison, Inc. will hold meetings and listen to community feedback. The first phase starts this spring, with final approval expected in 2027. Coming up at noon, Amazon tests a new, faster delivery service, and how a billionaire couple is planning to invest in future generations of Americans.
Billionaires Michael and Susan Dell joined President Trump at the White House Tuesday as the couple pledged more than $6 billion as an incentive to families to adopt new investment accounts for children. The Invest America, or Trump accounts, are tax-deferred savings tools under a provision in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. The Dells will deposit $250 into the accounts of millions of children under 10 years of age in zip codes where the median annual household income is up to $150,000. The couple hopes families claim the accounts and make investments in the stock market. Trump accounts are set to become available in 2026. Amazon is testing a new fast delivery service called Amazon Now. The online retailer says in 30 minutes or less, it will deliver thousands of different household essential items and groceries in parts of Seattle and Philadelphia. Prime members will pay $3.99 per order, while non-Prime members will be charged $13.99. And to ring in the holiday season, IHOP is offering a Kids Eat Free deal with certain restrictions for a limited time at participating locations. The restaurant chain says kids will get a free entree with each full-priced adult entree purchase. The offer is for dine-in customers only and valid 7 days a week between 2 and 10 p.m. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Thank you, Jesse. Let's see how stocks are faring at midday and at midweek. Green across the board. The Dow is up 376 points. The Nasdaq is up 51, and the S&P 500 is up 22. If you're looking for some help with any kind of consumer complaints, get ready to pick up the phone, because our call for action volunteers are in the building. They're ready to take action on your behalf. You can call for action at 608-270-2833, or you can submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Farm Director Pam Yankee has today's farm numbers coming up next, and Jacob is tracking that big chill heading our way in the forecast. And then later today on Live at 4, December is a very busy month for the arts in Madison. Our guest from the Overture Center will run down all of the shows and events taking the stage this month of December. That's coming up this afternoon on Live at 4. Let's check in now with Pam Yankee for the Midwest Farm Report. Hi, Pam. Boy, it's going to be a tough day tomorrow for our dairy farmer friends, for all of us, really. But I always think about those who are dealing with livestock with this weather.
I I'm glad that you do. Think about the farm broadcaster that's going to be squirreling into the office at about 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'll see who joins me on the streets. Will it be the snowplows or who will it be? But yeah, pay attention to the weather. That's on the horizon. What I'm paying attention to are the numbers that were released yesterday by the Wisconsin DNR on the gun deer harvest across the state of Wisconsin. Jeff Pritzel is the DNR's deer program specialist. By the way, Jeff is getting ready to retire after 35 dedicated years serving the hunters and our natural resources. Congratulations to him. Of course, you probably heard we picked up about 182,000 deer that were harvested. There's my friendly face, Jeff Pritzel. We wish him the best. Jeff said that one thing you might not have noticed this year is more deer hunters donated their carcasses. It's something about the harvest. Obviously, we've got enough deer that we were able to capture. But also, he said the emphasis that was being put on higher beef prices may have encouraged deer hunters to share with food pantries. Also, the fact that in the news, everybody talking about the stress on our food pantries for those that were dependent on them. So he said they're talking with venison processors across the state. That's how they gather that kind of information. But again, pretty successful harvest numbers, pretty much flat as far as overall harvest. But like I said, donations appear to be up. Congratulations to our buddies up there at Westby Co-op Creamery, the state's only cottage cheese facility. They picked up a $15.5 million loan through the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Rural Development Center, and they are going to use it to expand $30,000 milk silo that they're going to build, and that's going to have Wisconsin sourced milk. And they've got 2 cream tanks, 10,000 gallons a piece, that are going to help them expand their cottage cheese production 10 to 15% with the same amount of milk. Way to go. Congratulations. And 6 have received some grants through the Buy Local, Buy Wisconsin grant program administered through the Department of Agriculture. Those 6 are pretty fortunate. There were 37 applications asking for more than $1.4 million total. They only had $200,000 to work with. Hey, I've only got a few seats left to work with for our upcoming March tour to London. We're not going to be in the fields, but it will be a good time to go see some greenery elsewhere. So please, if you're interested in this trip, pull the trigger today. We've only got a random number of seats left, and I'd really like you to join us. That's coming up March 22nd through the 31st. Just tell them you want to go with the farm babe. Going with the markets today as far as numbers are concerned, commodities had been trending a little bit stronger, keeping an eye on what's going on with soybeans. I haven't seen any outright offers from China, but it seems like there might be some activity in the marketplace. I only wish we could find activity for our dairy producers. They are looking at a rough first quarter 2026. Today, the barrel cheese was down 5.5 at 144.5. 40-pound block cheese dropped another 4 to 139.5. AA butter, though, with some of that holiday baking in play, up 0.5 cent today at $1.46.5 per pound. Like you said, Suze, it's not just the weather that our dairy farmers may have to lament for the next 24 hours. They're going to have to really figure out some unique ways to tie the knots together in first quarter of 2026, I'm afraid, unless we see a massive turnaround in our dairy markets.
Oh, boy. Lots of news today in the ag world. You got it all in. Good job, Pam. You stay warm. We'll see you tomorrow. And let's head over to Jacob now in the Weather Center for the latest on this freezing cold forecast.
Yeah, we're going to see those bitter cold temperatures tonight. And although temperatures will warm up from there, they are still expected to be below normal for the most part over the next 10 days. But as far as snowfall goes, we're not expecting a lot of additional snowfall, just a few small chances of light snow to end the week, maybe some better chances next week, but nothing right now is coming together to impact our area. Now, I'm going to show you the wind chill in a moment, but let me just pause and explain a little bit what wind chill is. So our bodies lose heat through convection, and when there is no wind, it allows that small layer of heat to kind of stay around our bodies. So when the temperature is, let's say, -3, it feels like -3. But then as we add a little bit of wind, it causes all of that heat around our body to get out of, exit, and that allows it to feel a lot colder. Now, it is important to point out that wind chill is only felt by humans, but in this example, let's say it feels, or the actual temperature is -3 with a little bit of wind, and then it feels like -20. And these are the kind of temperatures that we are going to see as we get into the overnight hours. So wind chills right now, certainly cold, but not too bad compared to where we're going to be. Right now, they're in the teens above 0, but as we get towards the evening, they're going to drop below 0 and then continue to fall overnight. And once we get towards Thursday morning, we could see wind chills near -20 for a lot of the area. And even as we get into the afternoon, wind chills are expected to stay in the lower single digits. Some areas may see below 0 wind chills all day tomorrow, with below 0 wind chills again for Thursday night into Friday. Not quite as cold for Friday morning, but still very cold nonetheless. Wind chills near 0. And then as we get towards Friday afternoon, it will continue to improve a little bit, but we're still going to see some cold temperatures going forward. Looking at the actual temperatures again today, we'll see those temperatures drop from the upper 20s to the middle 20s throughout the afternoon. And then tomorrow, the high temperatures are only going to be in the teens. Now, again, these are the actual temperatures. Obviously, the wind chills will be colder, as I mentioned. And beyond that, although we are going to see some warmer temperatures, they're still expected to be below normal, and they're expected to stay below normal over the next 10 days and really for the foreseeable future. Now, looking at the overall snowfall chances, just a few light chances to end the week, maybe a little bit of a better chance Saturday night and some better chances for next week. But there's not going to be a lot of additional snowfall, but the snow that's already on the ground is not going anywhere with these cold temperatures, maybe starting to melt a little bit as we could see those temperatures get back into the lower 30s for the middle of next week. But at that point in time, that's our next best chance of snowfall. So we may see some light accumulation there, but a lot can still change between now and next week. What we're more focused on, obviously, is that temperature drop tonight. And for really the whole day tomorrow, just be prepared that it's not going to get much better, despite the fact that the sun will be out.
It'll feel better, though. 24 and 26 will feel much better.
I was talking about Thursday afternoon, but
yeah.
Once we get to Friday and the weekend, it will feel not quite as cold, but still cold out there.
Just get through tomorrow. Hang on. Okay, thank you, Jacob. Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council stops by. When we come back after the break, she'll show us a recipe. Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council is here today with a great appetizer recipe if you're going to a holiday gathering. Hi, Angie.
Hello.
What are you making today?
So I have a fun appetizer recipe using ground beef. Now, beef is usually thought of as your main course, your main dish, but we have a lot of appetizer recipes, and most of them use ground beef. So it's a great way to incorporate beef maybe into a full appetizer menu, tapas. I love doing that, just those small little bites. So then you can kind of try everything and graze. So these are called our beef and couscous stuffed baby bell peppers. So we're gonna make the filling quick. And I'm using lean ground beef. So I've got like a ground round, ground sirloin, because we're gonna make our filling and we're not gonna brown the ground beef. It's gonna brown in the peppers in the oven, so you don't have that step where you could brown your ground beef and drain some extra fat.
So get as lean as you can find.
If you like, I like doing that for this recipe. You definitely don't have to. Any ground beef is fine.
Okay.
But you just don't, you'll miss that step if that's what you're used to.
All right, what do you add to it?
So I got a pound of ground beef. We're gonna add in some garlic, of course, some minced garlic, salt, pepper, and dried oregano, couscous.
Just dried couscous?
Dried couscous, whole grain or regular.
Okay.
Spicy vegetable juice or regular vegetable juice, whatever you like. And then some spinach, frozen chopped. I just grabbed a package of that.
That's easy.
And then
couldn't be
thawed
easier.
it and drained it. I got it on a paper towel just to kind of suck up some more of that liquid. I think a half of a cup.
Okay.
And some cheese, that goes on top. Now, I bought one of those little bags of the mixed baby peppers.
They look like little Christmas lights. So they're perfect for this time of year.
I know, they are, but they got yellows, oranges, reds, so they're so festive. So I took them and I rinsed them and then I cut them in half and then just pulled out the seeds and the membrane.
Okay.
But really, that is it. That's all we're gonna do. We're gonna make this filling and then stuff the peppers. Now, the recepe says 15 of these mini peppers. I cannot fit my stuffing in 15. I always make more.
You got 2 bags of peppers.
Yeah, get 2 bags of peppers. So like, it's over 30 halves. But then these bake in a 400-degree oven.
So you just stuff the little peppers.
Yeah, about 25, 30 minutes.
Put them on a cookie sheet.
Put them on a cookie sheet.
Sprinkle them with the Parmesan.
Sprinkle them with the Parmesan, and then do not cover them. Bake them in that 400-degree oven till they're cooked through, which takes about 25, 30 minutes. And they're delicious. And
Delicious
they look like
and
that.
simple and so festive for the season.
They
Perfect.
are. They are. So beeftips.com is our Wisconsin Beef Council website. On the homepage, we got a link to our as seen on TV recipes, but then also Beef Up the Holidays page. So you find all of our recipe collections, all of our cooking tips. More than you thought you needed to know is there. So take 5 minutes, check it out.
All right. Thank you, Angie.
You're welcome.
And back over to Jacob for a final check of the frozen forecast.
Yeah, over the next 10 days, temperatures are expected to remain below normal, but tomorrow is going to be the day that it will especially be cold. The morning lows are likely going to drop below 0, with wind chills expected to drop into the negative teens for everybody. Could drop as cold as -20 to -25. So very, very cold for Thursday morning. Still on the colder side as we head towards the weekend, with a small chance of some light snow. Better chance of snow next week as the temperatures warm up a little bit, but we're still talking about highs only in the lower 30s. And as we continue to talk about, at this point in time, there is still no end in sight to the below normal temperatures.
Well, if you love the snow, if you're a skier and you like to get out and enjoy it, it's a good forecast because the snow isn't going anywhere soon. But stay warm, everybody. Take good care. Thanks so much for watching this afternoon. Have a good day, and we hope to see you back here for Live at 4. The Bold and the Beautiful is coming up next.